This is the Berman Method podcast featuring Dr. Jake Berman and physician assistant Jenni Berman. We are here to treat problems and not symptoms. Disclaimer, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and not to treat anyone or to give medical advice. If you are interested in any information that we are giving and would like to use this for yourself, we recommend that you contact your primary care physician or reach out to us and ask us questions about yourself specifically. Enjoy.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Dr. Jake Berman here with my lovely co-host,
Jenni Berman, physician assistant.
With the Berman Method podcast, where we're focused on treating problems and not symptoms, and we are all in the Christmas spirit today.
It's Christmas week.
Christmas week, Christmas week, Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's right. Santa's going all over.
All over?
Yeah. Santa's coming here. Santa's going to Jacksonville. Santa's going to everybody's house.
So Santa better have this Sky mileage card, right?
Mm-hmm. No, he has the reindeer.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, he has the reindeer. So yeah, we're excited. Christmas week. I was actually thinking a couple weeks ago, and we haven't talked about it yet, but our Christmas lights have been up on our house since our Christmas party, which we haven't talked about yet either. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that was fun.
But I was walking into the house from after my workout in our barn, and I was walking up into the house and the Christmas lights are up, and I'm like, it just makes you happy. Every time you look at the Christmas lights, you're just happy. Whenever you look at the Christmas tree, you're just happy. It's like the most wonderful time of the year. I love Christmas. My family loves Christmas. My family does Christmas big. It's always been the one holiday that we all show up at my mom's, have a huge Christmas Eve dinner, have a lot of fun, play some games.
Christmas Eve dinner is always one of the highlights of the Christmas season at your house because your mom goes hard in the paint. Like, she does not cut any corners. Every Christmas Eve, it's giant prime rib covered in rock salt that's in the oven, cooking all day, smelling up the house in a good way, heating up the house. All the windows are open. Hopefully it's not 85 degrees this year.
Yeah.
So we get some cooler weather blowing through the windows. But it's so much fun because listening to Bruce Springsteen holiday radio all day long, and then 25, 30 people show up for dinner, all family members or friends
Close
that are
friends.
Essentially family members.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun.
It is.
The kids show up. There's 20 kids running around. What's the name of our...
The night before Christmas.
The night before Christmas. We play the night before Christmas, and this is a great thing. So we all get gag gifts, right?
Yes.
So
$10 gag gifts.
$10 or less gag gifts, and they're all wrapped, and we all get in a circle. So just imagine 25, 30 of us all sitting in a circle, grown-ups and kids, and one person reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And everybody's got a present in their hand. And every time the word "the" is said, you got to pass the presents to your left.
Right.
And it's always funny because the reader, most of the time, doesn't find all the "thes."
Even though we highlight them in the book. So even though the "thes" are highlighted in the book, the reader still doesn't always catch them.
Well, you got to remember that this is later in the evening.
I was going to say, this is a few drinks in, typically. Toasted almonds.
Toasted almonds is your dad's go-to drink.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes it's not as easy to see that giant yellow highlighted V.
So then in this 25, 30 people group, everyone's saying, wait, like yelling the so loud.
It's so much fun, though. And once the story's over, you can open up your gifts, and then if you don't like yours, exchange it with somebody else, and it's just fun.
Yeah. Like we'll end up with kid's toy and be like, what am I going to do with this kid's toy? So
Yeah.
it's a good time.
Yeah, so that's our Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning is so much fun because Santa does not wrap his gifts.
Correct.
So when the kids come downstairs, they can see exactly what Santa got them because they're the unwrapped, completely assembled gifts.
Right.
That Santa worked so hard assembling the night before after all of those toasted almonds and after doing all the dishes and everything else. Oh, wait, now we have to assemble this 4,800 piece playset when the directions are in Chinese.
Right. Or else we think they're in Chinese.
Yeah, the
that
eyes
late
are
in the
crossed
night.
or wait, is this from IKEA?
Right.
What the hell is...
We might have determined over the last couple of weeks that Wayfair might be worse than IKEA.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So we just did a remodel in our house, a small remodel. At least it was supposed to be small. And Jenny is great. I love her for this. She searches everywhere to try to find the best deals on new furniture.
Thanks, Dad.
So Jenny found a bunk bed set with a trundle bed. So 3 beds that all came in boxes.
Multiple boxes
with 11 billion pieces inside of them that yours truly got the privilege to put together.
You're so kind.
But I'll tell you what, that 3-piece bunk bed set was nothing compared to this little tiny nightstand. Oh my gosh. Wayfair, you are a real piece of work. I'll tell you what, this little tiny nightstand, it's got 2 drawers. It's tiny. This thing kicked my ass way more than this giant 3-piece bunk bed set. It's like, what the hell? That was the first box I opened too. So I opened it up and I got everything spread out. It took me an hour and a half to spread everything out so that I knew where all the pieces were.
You're cursing me the whole time.
This is a Sunday afternoon and Jenny, she's doing her thing and she finally walks by the stairs and I catch her eye and I say, Jenny, next time, spend as much money as you possibly can so that it comes assembled. I'm done with this. This is not fun for me. She's in tears right now laughing because I had to suffer through this thing.
Oh, yes. And I was still laughing and he goes, I'm not kidding. I am not joking. This is for serious. So
I am not kidding at all.
Anyway, so we got our remodel done just before our Christmas party.
Yep.
So that was fun at the house. We had all our staff over.
Yeah,
and
company Christmas party.
Yeah, staff Christmas party. Had the staff over and had a good time.
Yeah.
So we are really enjoying the holiday season. We want to spend this time again, kind of like we did around Thanksgiving, but just to express the gratitude that we have for the team that we've developed to be able to help every client. We couldn't do it just Jake and I. We are able to help the people that we help because of the team that we have in place. And I know all of our clients feel the same way, that they really appreciate the team that has been developed through Berman Health and Wellness, Berman Physical Therapy, Berman Golf over the year.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun, and it's another thing that I want to boast on. I've been boasting a lot lately.
Yeah.
Where
like you.
We are doing really good, knock on wood, with our employee retention. It's something that I had struggled with a lot when I first started hiring employees because I was new at it. I didn't know how to be a leader. I didn't know how to be a boss. I was like, why do I have to tell you to do your job? Just do your job. Why do you need me to tell you to do your job? So anyways, over the years and a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring, a lot of learning, I've gotten better and better and better and better. And now we've got 12 employees on staff, and the vast majority of them have been with us over a year.
Right.
And 2 of them have been with us over 2 years. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, it's going in the right direction. Culture is going in the right direction. And it's all for you guys. It really is all for you guys. Every single week we have a team meeting with all of us in the room. And it always has the common theme. What are our core values? to connect emotionally, to provide a wow experience, to create a family environment. And that's all for you guys. Everybody that's listening, everybody that walks through the door, you are our priority. You're not just a number. We're not just trying to get the cash register to make noise. We're trying to change lives. We're trying to transform. That's why it's our mission to help as many people as possible avoid needless surgeries while maintaining a high quality of life.
The highest quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something we've talked about a lot this month moving into season is yes, the numbers that we have through the doors during season pick up, but each individual is still an individual. Everybody is still equally as important. We still have to keep your goals as our main priority, and we will. We promise that, to keep your goals our main priority and making sure that we're helping each individual to reach the highest quality of life. So we say this and want you to not wait until January 1st. We said this last week, but don't wait until January 1st to make these changes. Start now, because as again, we mentioned last week, and if you didn't listen to it, you should, but we want to make sure that you are constantly progressing and not regressing, even through this holiday season. I've had a lot of clients come in and do their initial consult and say, well, I'm just going to wait and start the actual program until in January. And I say, I understand. I know there's a lot going on during the holiday season. I know it's busy. I know you have family in town, you're traveling. I get it. But we also are the best at helping you to figure out a lifestyle that is not going to be overwhelming or limiting to you. And the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be, versus the reason we see our clients every week is to help you figure out a lifestyle that you can live. The traveling's never going to stop. The family's never going to stop. Events are never going to stop. Even though the holiday season is one of the busier times, these things are going to come up year round. And so now is actually the best time to allow us to help you figure out how you can live a lifestyle and still be able to do the things that you want to do and go to these events that you want to go to, but with continuing to progress and reach your goals.
As you're saying all that, there's one word that just was screaming at me the whole time, and it's the word priority. Where the people that are using those excuses, and that's all they are, I'm going to wait until January because there's too much going on in December, Christmas and traveling, all this. Well, it's not a priority for you then. If it's not a priority now, what makes you think it's going to be a priority in January? Because I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to rant for a second. Because if you're saying, okay, it's not a priority now, but it's going to be my priority in January. Okay, it's your priority in January, but then what happens in February when something comes up, right? It's no longer your priority anymore. So that's what we're trying to get right here. If you want to see a real change and you want a transformation a year from now, you want to be somebody different a year from now than you are right now, it has to be a priority. And priorities take precedent over holidays and traveling and everything. Right. You're going to figure it out.
And that's exactly where I was going to go when I was going to cut you off, and I didn't. But yeah, it's your priority in January. But what happens when season starts to pick up and more of your friends start to come back and the social events at the club start to pick up in February and in March? Then you get off track again. But again, it's about creating that lifestyle to where you can continue to maintain those events and that social lifestyle, but still continue to reach your goals and progress.
Priority has to be a priority. And there's one example where I'm proud of this, where we always use Thanksgiving, Christmas as excuses to overindulge and do these things. Where this past Thanksgiving, I intentionally said, okay, I'm going to go into this dinner with the mindset that I'm actually going to put something green on my plate.
And you did.
And I did. And I'm only going to have one plate. Versus every single Thanksgiving for as long as I could possibly remember, I'm going back and I'm getting more mashed potatoes, more sweet potatoes, more turkey, more gravy, and more biscuits. And I'm going to do it again at least 2, if not 3 times. But this time, I got one plate. I did put some green beans on there and some broccoli. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is driving me nuts right now, but I did it and I finished that one plate and I was satisfied. And then I felt really good about myself later on that night because I'm like, oh wow, I actually did what I said I was going to do because I made it a priority.
Right. So don't, as we go into the holiday season, enjoy your holidays, enjoy the time, enjoy the events, but know what your priorities are. Set a plan for yourself. Like we said last week, have someone help you, have someone guide you and give you the tips that you need to get through the holiday, because there is a way to get through it without undoing everything that you've already accomplished. And you can still enjoy the day. So we started this podcast off by talking about our family traditions. We have the big dinner on Christmas Eve. There are drinks on Christmas Eve. Christmas morning, after Santa comes and the kids do the Santa presents, and then we open all the wrapped presents from each person and family. We do a big Christmas breakfast. And yes, there are pastries, and yes, there are mimosas, but how do you balance that with the rest of your day, with the rest of your week, with your activity level? How do you, continue sticking with the gluten-free and dairy-free options? We have recipes for this. We have cookbooks for the holiday. How do you maintain your pain level, in your area when the physical therapy office is closed from Christmas to New Year's? What are some things that you can do day in and day out to be able to continue to progress through this time before the office opens back up again?
Yes. The pain thing is a big one because so many people use the holidays as an excuse. I don't need to do my homework. I don't need to go to the gym. I don't need to exercise. This is the one that drives me absolutely nuts. I have family in town, so I'm not going to stick to my regular routine. Are you freaking kidding me? Like you can't get away from your family for 45 minutes
Right.
to take care of your health?
Right.
Like you think that you're going to be judged for leaving your family to fend for themselves for 45 minutes?
To help yourself and to really help them so they don't have to listen to you. But if you can't come into the office in person because family is there and you don't want to waste the commute time, do a virtual visit for 30 or 45 minutes. It's still going to allow you to progress and not regress.
A 30-minute virtual session with one of our team members is going to be 10 times more effective than you trying to take 45 minutes and do something on your own when you're concerned about your family or you're trying to just figure things out on your own. When you got one of us on the other side of that screen kicking your butt for 30 minutes, you're feeling it. And
Right.
you're going to feel really good at the end of it because A, you got an endorphins and you got blood pumping, but B, because you did something productive.
Right. Right. And you're activating the right muscles. Or in our side of the world, we do virtual visits every single day with clients, and it is still effective. People are like, well, I can't come in, so it's not going to be worth it. Yes, it is, because we're still going over topics and we're still going over things that happened this last week and what's upcoming in this next week. We're still helping to hold you accountable and answering questions and picking out things that you don't recognize that you've done that may be hindering you in your progress, and you just don't realize it through this busy season. So you're going to gain something even out of virtual visits through this holiday season.
Yes.
It's Christmas week.
Okay. Are we done yelling at them?
Yeah. I mean, were we yelling? We were just passionate.
Oh, that was passion.
Yeah, we're passionate about helping one more person live a higher quality, the highest quality of life.
Yes,
the
highest.
Through the holiday season.
I think a big take-home message from this episode is if it's not your priority right now, what makes you think it's going to be your priority next week?
Right.
What makes you think that just because it's New Year's resolutions time that, okay, now this is going to be a priority? Yeah, it might be for a week, a month, or even 3 months. But then what's going to happen? There's going to be another party. There's going to be a trip. We're going to Europe for a week. We're going to have this huge event at the country club. We're going to have a 3-day tournament. We're going to go on a golf trip. We're going to do something. Okay, well, it's not my priority anymore because this is now the priority. And it all comes down to what you've been preaching forever, and it's a lifestyle change. It's not a diet. It is a way of life. So I physically feel guilty when I don't exercise.
Well, we don't want guilt, but you know that you're not progressing if you're not activating your muscles.
When I don't exercise because I feel like I'm letting myself down.
Okay. For your own self, not for anyone else.
Look at it this way. So I think I mentioned it at some point where I finally started documenting my exercises in my notes in my phone. So every single week I've got 15 or 20 different exercises, total body stuff in there, where every single week my goal is to progress at least one of those 10, 15, or 20 things that I have on there. So that's my way of knowing that every single week I'm progressing something. And I did really good through the summer. My numbers were going up. I was getting stronger on deadlifts and bench. I was doing more on the bench press than I had since probably 10 years. I was doing good on the rower. My rower numbers were going up. Everything was going up until we started traveling for hunting season and football season. And we spent 2.5 months where we were not home on a weekend. Mm-hmm. So the routine was off. Mm-hmm. But what I did was I found a way to do something versus nothing. So when I started back up again with our regular routine a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't even close to where I was back in August and September. But I was a lot closer than I would have been had I just said, screw it, this isn't my priority at all.
Right. Yeah. Because we weren't even most weeks in an area where we could go into a fitness center. We were doing things with bands or 4x4s or cedar blocks, whatever, cement blocks, because we weren't in a fitness center, but we figured something out to where we could still move our body, activate our muscles, make sure that at least we were doing some rehab exercises. We already talked about this on a prior podcast. And if you didn't listen, go back and where we talked about how we traveled for 11 weeks straight and what kind of foods we brought with us and what we ordered and what we could do to make sure that we were maintaining our protein and our carb and fat balance through weeks and weeks of traveling and not having a fitness center.
That's a big one because when you start traveling and your routine goes off, the one thing that consistently changes is your calorie output goes down. But the one thing that doesn't consistently change is your calorie input. Mm-hmm. Usually your calorie input stays the same or goes up. And your calorie output, physical exertion, goes down. So the way that we did better than we could have done was knowing that our calorie expenditure was going down. We're sitting in a tree for 12 hours, literally from an hour before the sun comes up to sun going down. We're in a tree, not moving.
Right.
Like we're not walking. We might be standing, might be sitting, but we're not moving really.
Right.
So the calorie expenditure has gone down dramatically. So you have to adjust the calories going in. Like you have to make sure that it's higher protein so that you maintain muscle mass and you don't burn the muscle mass. But you got to be really careful of the empty calories, big time on the empty calories.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Well, we've been talking enough. Santa's coming. Get jacked up. Make sure the elf is doing what it's supposed to be doing on the shelf and get lots of rest because Santa Claus is coming
to town.
Yay!
He's making a list, checking it twice.
Gonna find out who's naughty or nice, who thinks we should be a singing duo.
Woo! Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Have fun. Enjoy your family.
Until next time.
Ciao. Thank you for subscribing on your social media and podcast platforms to the Berman Method. Dr. Jake Berman with Berman Physical Therapy and Jenni Berman, Physician Assistant with Berman Health and Wellness. You can find more information on our website, www.bermanpt.com for physical therapy, bermanpt.com/wellness for the health and wellness. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on your podcast platform. So be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us. And if you would like any further information, definitely visit our website and reach out to us. You may also find our free reports on the websites as well, where you can download this free information for yourself. Have a great day.